Brewing Beer Kits is a simple and approachable way to get into making your own fresh, tasty beer at home. And it's not just for those that are new to brewing beer, it can even be for the more experienced brewers at home that need to get a brew on in a rush. Join us in this video where we look at how to customise a beer kit to make it fit your tastes. Hey, it's James here from the Malt Miller, and today we're going to be looking at how you can take one of the beer kits like the ones we've got in front of us here and customise it to really suit your needs, your tastes and your preferences. What we're going to do is we're going to brew both of these kits and we're going to make some slight changes to one of them to see if we can hit something that really fits my personal preference when it comes to drinking beer at home. Now, before we jump too far ahead, we probably just need to explore a little bit about what actually a beer kit is. If you've made it to this video and you've never made beer before, then let's try and answer that first and foremost. Beer kits present a really approachable way for you to get into making your own beer at home that's both affordable, accessible, great fun, and really rewarding. Beer is made from 4 key components: malted barley, hops, yeast, and water. And it really is as simple as those 4 ingredients. Now, in a commercial brewery, what would happen is that malted barley gets crushed and soaked in warm water for around about an hour. Temperature is normally about 65 degrees. What happens during that process is the enzymes react with the starches that are sat in the grain. They get turned into sugars, which dissolves into the liquid, which becomes something called wort. Wort is ultimately unfermented beer. So before the yeast has had a chance to eat up all of those sugars and convert it into alcohol. Now, you can go down the route of making beer in this method at home. It's called all grain brewing, and we've got a load of videos on that topic, which I'll pop up on the screen now. Now, many people, when they get started in making beer at home, opt to go for beer kits. And what happens is that actually that malted barley liquid that I've previously talked about called wort has been made for you and been condensed down into a concentrate in these pouches. What we then have to do is mix that with water to re-dilute it to the required level, add the yeast, add the hops, ferment it, then package it and enjoy it. So it's really hassle-free. If you want to learn even more about making beer kits, we've got some awesome videos on that already, so I'd recommend you go and check some of those out. There's a whole host of these beer kits available on the market that will cater for so many different needs, and they're a great way to get started. However, one thing that seems to be innate in all homebrewers is that desire to be creative, that desire to do something that really fits your needs, that you can say is absolutely mine. And so what we're going to do now is explore 2 specific changes you can make when brewing one of these beer kits to add your own personal stamp to it. Okay, so the beer kit we're choosing to brew today for both of our batches is the Mangrove Jacks Juicy IPA beer kit. It's a great beer kit. It's one of our most popular with our customers, and it's understandable why. It's a classic kind of West Coast style IPA. Now, the first change we're making is the yeast, and we're using the Verdant IPA yeast from Lallemand. Now, this is going to be more hazy in the finished beer. It's going to add flavour notes of tropical, almost stone fruit, and it's going to leave it maybe a touch sweeter than we would have had from the yeast that's included with the pack already. The second thing we're going to do is add a hop extract called Spectrum, and the variation of hops that we're using is Mosaic. Now, this will be added into the fermenter at the same time as we add the Citra pellet hops that come within the packet itself. Now, what we want to go for here is to really elevate the hop profile in this beer. Now, Citra and Mosaic are a classic combo, and you see it in hazy, juicy IPAs all over at the moment. So we're really keen to see how that's going to show up in the beer kit and how it will differ from the actual recipe that comes in the pack already. If you want to learn more about the specifics of how to make one of these kits, thoroughly recommend you watch the video that I've got a link to on the screen now, which will teach you all about how to make a beer kit. Okay, now we've talked through the changes we're going to make to one of the beer kits. It's time for us to get these ready, get them into the fermenters, mixed up, ready to add our yeast. Both our beer kits are now mixed up and in the fermenter. We've added our 2 different yeasts. Now all that's required is for us to be patient. We're going to let our beer ferment until it's completely finished. Then we're going to add our dry hops. We're going to add the 50-gram sachets of Citra that came with both packs. And then in the one that's got the Verdant IPA yeast, we're going to add that Mosaic Spectrum to really enhance the hop presence. We're choosing to ferment our beers in grain fathers, conical fermenters connected to a glycol chiller. Now that might sound pretty advanced, but what we're really just trying to do here is control the temperature of fermentation, because that makes a massive difference to your finished beer. You can achieve this on a far more affordable scale if you follow this video that I'm going to pop up on the screen right now. Now we're going to come back in a couple of weeks, taste test these 2 finished beers side by side and see if we've been able to achieve the goal, which is to separate these 2 beer kits just by the change in yeast and adding some extra dry hops. Okay, it's been just shy of 10 days since we put our beer kits into the fermenter. If you remember, we've got one with the Verdant yeast in and one that's got the yeast that comes with the Juicy IPA kit, which is the Mangrove Jacks M44. They've both hit their final gravities. I've been taking measurements throughout their fermentation to make sure they're where they need to be. Now that they've hit their final gravities, I've cooled both of the beers to 14 degrees, ready for their dry hopping. And we're going to be dry hopping both of them with the 50-gram packs of Citra that come with the kit. And we're also in the one that's got the Verdant IPA. If you remember, we're going to be adding a packet of Spectrum and the Mosaic Spectrum. And now I'm going to talk you through how to put this in, how to handle it, how to use the dry hops and the liquid hop products together. So we've come in a little bit closer so I can show you exactly how to add the dry hop pellets to both of the beer kits. First thing we need to do is make sure that we've got our dry hops out of the pack and also a set of scissors. Both of these need to be sanitized using some no rinse sanitizer, which I've got in a handy spray bottle here. So we give both lots a good spray with our no rinse sanitizer, and also, just for luck, I always like to give a little bit of a spray just around the lid of the fermenter that I'm about to take off. Now we're going to cut the top off of the packet of hops. And then inside we've got our lovely 50 grams of Citra hop pellets, which I'm sure you can see just there. Now we're going to start with the Verdant one. Oh, bit of a hiss there. Just going to undo our fermenter. And then we want to try and do this with minimizing the amount of time that the lid is open. Okay, so we're going to gently lift the lid up. It looks lush, by the way. Open it up. Pour our hot pellets in and then pop the lid back on, and we're going to close that up. Now that all remains is for me to repeat that process on the other kit, because if you remember, this part of the process is identical for both kits. So adding the Spectrum into the fermenter is just as easy as adding the pellets. There's only one additional step we need to take, and that's just to warm the product up a little bit. So I've just had it stood in a cup of warm water, about 40 to 50 degrees, just for a few minutes, just to make it really nice and soft and flowable before we put it into the fermenter. And then we're going to sanitize the packet along with the scissors, exactly the same way we did before. We're going to only cut the corner off of the packet, and we're going to squeeze it out into the fermenter. Now this stuff's amazing. It's flowable, it's water soluble, and it will disperse throughout the brew. Now in terms of the amount of Spectrum to use, you should always make sure you never go more than 1 gram of Spectrum per litre of finished beer. Now we've got 23 litres of beer in our fermenter here, and we're using 1 packet, which is 20 grams. So that's perfect for what we're aiming to achieve. So after that, we're going to leave this for a couple of days, then we're going to package it, then we're going to see how it drinks. So it's been a couple of days since I added the dry hops to the beer. In that time, I have packaged it up into kegs, got it carbonated, ready to drink, and today I'm going to taste it and see if we've been able to really find out whether those couple of additions that we've made have separated the beer kits and made them completely different. And to help me, I've got Rob with me.
Hello, James.
Are you looking forward to this?
I really am, actually. And if you can take what is already a really good beer kit, so we're trying to elevate what is already a really good beer kit into something that is really excellent.
Yeah, and different. Yeah, from its original recipe as well.
Yeah.
You know,
seeing
customise it.
Yeah.
To
standard ingredients enhanced.
Yeah, to suit my needs, like my personal preference, which is juicy, hazy IPAs that are packed full of hot presence, right? So we've got 2 beers in front of us here.
Yes.
1 glass is the standard recipe.
Yeah.
The other is the one with the enhancements.
Sure.
I'm not going to tell you which one's which. I know, but you don't.
Yeah, okay.
So I think if we take a stab at each, have a little taste, see what we think, and then I'm going to ask you if you can try and pick out the one that's got the differences in.
Just on a notice on appearance, so we've poured these from a keg. They've been poured a couple of minutes or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because actually that sort of creamy head's lasted quite well
Yeah.
on the beer, which is a nice thing to see.
So let's start off with the one on the left. Your left, not your left. Get in there. And you're right, there is, head is lush,
I know,
isn't
it's
it?
nice.
Really
yeah,
nice
yeah,
creamy
yeah,
head.
yeah, exactly. Good level of carb you got on there as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, this style of beer wants a reasonable amount of carbonation.
Yeah, it
doesn't want to be spiky.
No.
But it wants a reasonable amount.
Wants to be a little bit frothy and kind
Yeah.
of, lingering. So it definitely smells juicy. The recipe, actually, the Mangrove Jacks kit that we use has a small amount of passion fruit juice in the recipe as well, which is great. I love passion fruit. But you can get that on the nose, can't you?
If you didn't know it was passion fruit, you'd be like, wow, there's a real fruity flavour in there. Because I know it's passion fruit, it's smashing me in the face, passion fruit. Yeah, it's like, actually.
I'm definitely picking up the hops in there, which is Citra. Can you get that?
Yep. Yeah, it's got a powerful aroma to it.
Yeah.
A really powerful aroma to it.
Give it a taste.
Again, that passion fruit, really, it's
there,
a
isn't
massive
it? Yeah.
flavour in the beer. Yeah,
Yeah.
It really is. Great. I know I've said it before that there's great level of carbonation in here. It is just right for the style of the beer.
Yeah. And taste-wise, it's lush as well. You could happily drink a few pints of that.
I can't believe the quality of kit beers that are being made now is absolutely outstanding.
What a time to be alive, right?
Yeah.
For someone getting into homebrewing and making a start at extract kits, it's the world is your oyster now. Okay, right.
Round two?
Yep, round two. I mean, it looks very similar to the other one. In fact, there's nothing I can really tell between the two in terms of how they've ended up looking in the glass. But
It's like night and day.
okay,
It's like night and day, the difference between these two.
so just wait until you've tasted it, and then I'll ask you for what you think is which one.
Okay.
What's your thoughts, Rob?
Well, that's the dry hop beer, absolutely without a doubt.
So you're saying
Different
that's
yeast.
the one with the Spectrum and the Verdant yeast?
Yeah, and there's a couple of big differences. The standard yeast used in this Juicy IPA kit throws some sulphur,
Yep.
and that's present in this. That's present in this beer.
Yep. It's not undesirable, but it's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing of that in this beer whatsoever. Far more hop forward on the nose.
And I'm getting that kind of dankness that you get from Mosaic in there as well.
Yeah. It's like, that made from a kit is absolutely quite outstanding.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, the difference that the yeast has made. It is smoother.
It's definitely smoother.
A little bit more on the mouth feel.
Yeah. I did you check the final gravities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one came out at 10-12, and the standard one was 10-10. So a bit more attenuation there.
Yeah. And that really, you can actually, that mouthfeel is actually fully there. You can really taste that.
And it balances out the hop presence really nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, look, Rob, I'm really pleased that you've enjoyed both of the beers and that we've been able to discern the differences when using these couple of different ingredients, you know. What's really exciting for me is that if you're a kit brewer at home and you have been brewing these extract kits and you choose to switch out the yeast and add some hops, you've suddenly got almost an infinite amount of combinations, haven't you?
It's absolutely amazing. So we do some of the stronger stout kits, for example. Swap the yeast out for a Belgian yeast.
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got a Belgian double. Yeah. Just literally, like you say, the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
You can literally do what you want and
Or maybe like
completely transform a beer.
one of the porter kits, switch it out for a lager yeast, and you've got a Baltic porter.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. I think it's a really exciting experiment to play, even if you only do it a couple of times, just to try some new different flavours out on your most favoured beer kit that you've been brewing for a while. It's worth doing, right?
Awesome. What a successful experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video and you've learned something along the way with us. We're really excited about these kind of experiments and doing what you can to really put your own stamp on a product. All that I ask now is that if you've enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell for notifications. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and we'll see you soon.